Hello, welcome back to the Spooky Swans podcast. I'm Josh,
And I'm Jess.
and this week we did a listener's choice. Um, and we will be talking about what year was this? 77?
1976, this movie came
76.
out. So this movie, as we had mentioned on our previous episode of Fear Street, that we were going to try to do a new thing at the end of each month, that we were going to review a listener's choice. But by listener's choice, we're doing either their first ever horror movie that they watched or their absolute favorite horror movie. So this coworker of mine in particular, I'm not going to say her name just because I don't know if she wants me to say her name out here, but she constantly listens faithfully to our podcast. And
Thank you for that, by the way.
yeah, thank you so much. And she actually listens with her son and they make a day of it and everything.
I love that.
So that's really great. So we're shouting you out. You know who you are. But we're going to actually do her choice. So her first movie, horror movie that she remembers that she watched when she was a little girl is called Alice, Sweet Alice. When it first came out, it was actually called Communion. And then a year later, they renamed it Alice, Sweet Alice, which I kind of like it better.
Although Communion is not a horrible name, it really only encompasses like a portion of the movie.
I mean,
But
it's just, to me, it's spot on now.
yeah,
But I like Alice, Sweet Alice.
that's fair. It's a good title.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, this is if you look it up online, it's described as like giallo style, which is like Italian for like a murder mystery kind of thing. You'll see that in like if you see the movie Suspiria, it's kind of like that.
Yeah. So they marked it as mystery, horror.
Hmm.
I would even say psychological, maybe even a slasher.
Yeah.
And it does have a cult following
Mm.
now. Apparently, when it first came out, it got controversial. It was controversial.
I could definitely see why.
Yeah, because it was very anti-Catholic.
Hmm. Yeah. Ugh.
So people were like 50-50 about it. But eventually, the longer it was out, like there's people out there that really respect the film.
It's the same thing with The Exorcist when that came out. People were like, "Oh, this is blasphemy," because deals with all that. But
Yeah, sometimes I feel like movies are just not for the year that it came out. Like, I feel like it's a little bit behind.
yeah,
Like, in Back to the Future, he's like, oh, don't worry, your kids are going to love it. Like when he's playing the guitar.
yeah.
I feel like this is one of those films that aged pretty well. It has some aspects of it that is a little over the top, like the acting. But of course, it's something from the 70s.
Sorry, our cat's
So
throwing up. If you hear that in the background, I apologize.
I was trying to talk over it so they
No,
don't
you
hear
can't
that.
talk over that.
Um, yeah,
Uh,
because you're not allowing me to talk over it. Frankie, can't you go over there?
we appreciate your contribution. Thank you, Frankie.
At least it's on the hardwood and not the carpet.
Yeah, she loves to puke directly where I sit.
Great. Thanks. Thanks, Frankie. So anyways, back to this. It got a 71% on Rotten Tomatoes. Do you think that's a fair rate
Yeah,
in your opinion?
uh, I'd go a little higher.
I'd go a little higher. I actually really enjoyed it. I will say that, like, I didn't like the over the top acting from certain adults.
I loved it.
You loved it?
The overacting is so crazy in this movie, but it's so enjoyable to watch. It kept me very interested because people would go way over the top for certain things.
The little girl who played Alice did a phenomenal job.
Yes.
Phenomenal job. And this was actually Brooke Shields' debut.
Oh, this was like the first thing she ever did.
This was the absolute first thing that she did.
Hmm.
Her debut.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a shame she's only in it for a certain period of time, but
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? Like, she was super young, so what
yeah,
do you expect?
even though she plays, like, a massive part, she's only in it briefly, but she was great in it. She plays a little girl. I guess it's her first communion, right?
It's her first communion, yes.
Yeah. It's I don't know. The whole movie kinda revolves around that and then escalates from there.
Yeah, so, this movie was filmed in Paterson, New Jersey. Even in the beginning credits, you see Paterson, New Jersey, and some of the pictures that they used of the town was also Newark.
Yeah.
So they had, like, a certain budget. They had, like, a strict budget, I believe, what I was reading.
Mm,
Um, and a lot of people lived in the area of either New Jersey or New York, so they kinda kept it true to the film,
mhm.
which was nice.
It's just so funny though, like, I've talked to people who were around in this time, and they were like, "Yeah, Patterson was beautiful, like, it's a beautiful place," and then I go there now, and I'm like, "It's not this anymore," but they show, like, beautiful waterfalls and this and that.
There's certain parts of Paterson that are still nice. I feel like there's every town, like, because even in Newark is ratchet as hell if you know anything about Newark, New Jersey, but there are, because they're trying to make it up and coming,
Mm,
that there are places in Newark too that are very luxury looking, like, that have the luxury apartments, and you're just like, "This does not look like it belongs in Newark."
yeah,
Paterson is the same thing.
yeah, that's true. Because you see at one part, you see, like, beautiful waterfalls, and the next part, you see someone laying next to broken, like, liquor bottles, and you're like, "Oh, there's Patterson." But
Well, the Paterson we know today.
Patterson we know and love. Yeah, it took me a minute. I didn't realize it was New Jersey when we first started the movie. I guess I didn't notice that, like, pay close attention to that, but then as it went on, I'm like, "Wait, is this fucking New Jersey?" Like, but no, I actually really enjoyed this one. I've always seen it, like, if I'm on Prime looking for something to watch, I would always, scroll past it,
Mhm.
and I never really sat down and watched it until you were like, "We're doing this," and I'm like, "Great."
Yeah, it wasn't a film that I woulda chose on my own to watch, but once my coworker recommended it, and then she kept saying, "Oh, like, you really, really need to watch it. Like, this is what I watched when I was a little girl."
Mm.
It freaked me out because I think during that time, like, this was probably one of those movies that introduced something like that, something bad happening in a Catholic church,
Yeah, well, you have
taking that
that.
take.
You have The Omen, like, there's so a lot of movies back then were really starting the Catholic Church horror
Mhm.
genre, because before that, it was unheard of. Because you're not people were like, "Oh, you're not allowed to do that, it's blasphemy,"
Yeah, you're not allowed to touch it.
but as soon as, like, the '70s hit and times were changing, they really fucking went for it, and it worked so well because anything with religion, so, like, if you take something that people lean on to make them feel better, like religion and faith, and then you turn that into horror, you take the thing that they covet most and you flip it on its head and you creep them out.
Mhm.
That's why it works so well. But yeah, this movie, I don't know. I loved it. This is why we're doing the listeners' choices, by the way, because we get told to watch movies that we probably normally wouldn't watch on our own.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I have some mainstream ones up there
Mm,
on that list of, but, we wanna still go ahead and review those too because even those mainstream ones, it's like things that you wouldn't think to rewatch again, like old-timey stuff that
yeah,
probably was anybody's first, other people's first horror movies also.
yeah. But yeah. So let's get into it. Um, it opens up on a little girl saying her prayers very creepily alone. And then we meet Catherine and her two daughters, which is Karen. Brooke Shields and Alice, who was played by that was Paula Shepherd. Phenomenal in this movie. She's amazing in this.
Yeah, she did a great job in this movie. I don't know any of the actors' name. I don't know any of them except for Brooke Shields.
Yeah, I really didn't know either. But they go and visit the priest, Father Tom, which I still don't know what their dynamic is. Are they just friends of his? Because they're with him like a little uncomfortably too much.
Well, I mean, later on, you find out in the film that Catherine is a single parent mom. So she turns a lot to the church, and the pastor kind of like just watches out for them
Mhm.
and stuff.
All right, so it's nothing like relationship wise. They're just he's helping her out.
Yeah, he just helps her out. I mean, in this film, but like I could see how it would be kind of a little misleading. Or maybe he has a crush on her or something. I don't know.
Mm.
Because yeah. I I don't know. There are like weird vibes a lot with certain adults in this film.
For sure. But I don't know, for whatever reason, he was the only one that didn't come across as like he's flirting.
No, he was just strictly just the pastor.
Yeah, he seemed like a good guy. On her end, on the other hand, it's very different. But
Yeah, Catherine was a nut.
fucking out. But yeah, so they go to visit, and Karen's like, "Oh, mommy told me you had a present for me." He's like, "Why would I get a gift for you?" Like he's messing with her. He's like, "All right, go in the other room." So they go in the dining room and they're sitting down and they're eating cookies, and Alice is whispering in Catherine's ear, like, "I have to go to the bathroom." She's like, "All right, well, fucking go. Like, why are you telling me?" I'm paraphrasing, of course, but she's like, "Yeah, go to the bathroom." And then we meet Mrs. Tredoni, who is I don't know if
She's like the housekeeper.
she's a housekeeper, yeah,
Yeah.
of
She cooks, she cleans, of
takes care of the Monsignor
yeah.
and the priest.
Mhm. And she like lives there with them.
Yeah, very grumpy old woman.
Yeah.
Very grumpy.
Yeah, all the women in this film are like over the top like pretty much nasty. Like,
And all the men are not. They're just very laid back. Even the detectives are like, "Yeah, whatever."
yeah.
But yeah, so Mrs. Tredoni is like scrubbing the kitchen floor, and Alice, for no reason, puts on a creepy mask and scares her. It's very out of place, but funny. And Mrs. Tredoni's like, "Oh, you horrible child." And then Catherine runs in and acts like it's nothing new to her. She's like, why are you wearing it? Just take it off. Go sit down."
You
Like,
said you had to go to the bathroom. Go sit down. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
So you take the damn mask off. So she goes and sits down, and Father Tom surprises Karen with a cross to wear, and it was his mother's, I believe.
I guess. I didn't even peep that.
Yeah, he was like, "This was my mother's long ago. I want you to have it for, your first communion." And they're hugging and whatever. It's weird and random, but yeah. I still I don't know, I guess they're like good friends. It's still weird to me, but whatever.
Maybe he just like took on the father figure for them because
After the separation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because again, Catherine is a single parent mom. I'm guessing during that time, especially in the church, it's kind of like a no-no.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess he took on the role then.
Yeah.
Jumped in to be a good man. Um, Back at home, Karen, this is where you kind of get a sense of her personality. Nonstop whining. She's like, "Mommy, she took my doll and I know she's gonna break it." And she's like screaming this,
And crying and
flipping the fuck out.
but that's fine. Like she was a little
I
girl.
know.
Her older sister took her doll.
Yeah.
Her older sister's a troubled girl.
She's a shit.
Yeah, she's a shit, you know.
There's troubled and then she's just Alice being a shit.
Yeah. And so she took her doll, went to the basement, and Karen is yelling, "She took my doll, she's gonna break it." It's like a porcelain doll.
Mhm.
By all means, break it.
A porcelain doll with two faces, which was very weird. Did you
Yeah.
see that?
Yeah, I know. I was like, "Oh, hell no. Girl,
It had,
I'm getting rid of this for your own good."
it had like the Voldemort face on the back of the head. It was very creepy.
Yeah, it did,
Ugh.
actually. I didn't even compare that.
I was like, why would you want this doll?
Yeah, I don't know.
But Catherine is like, "All right, well, she's not going to break it. I got to go get your dress." So, basically, like, deal with it. So Karen runs out looking for Alice because Alice left, and she follows her to an old textile factory, which Patterson has a million of. And as she's walking through this factory, Alice jumps out with her creepy mask on and then takes it off to reveal a second mask because why wouldn't she just have one? And then grabs Karen and throws her in a room and locks her in.
Uh, and this film also heavily, like, relies on music to tell you, like, "Oh, something bad is gonna happen."
Mhm.
And they make it, like, screeching music and stuff.
Very 70s.
Yeah, very 70s.
Um, yeah, she throws her in a room and locks it, and she's like banging on the door, and then she opens it after like 5 seconds, and she's like, "If you tell mom about this, I'll break your doll." And then Karen runs away. And they're back at home, and then she walks in like nothing happened. She's like, "Oh, mom, did you get my dress?" And they're like, "Well, you got over that pretty damn quick." And they're going over everything. They're looking at the dress. Alice, of course, being a shit, just walks in and grabs the veil and just walks away with it. She's trying it on, and then Karen, "Oh, mommy, she took my veil. She's gonna ruin it," and starts flipping out again. And then Catherine yells at her, and then
Catherine yells at both of them, actually,
yeah, she's
at this
she's
time
not gonna
because
ruin it.
yeah, and then, Alice gets upset because Alice is like, "I want a communion."
Yeah, she didn't get one.
Which I thought was weird because Alice is older.
She was.
So why didn't she get a communion?
I don't know.
Why is Karen getting a communion
They never
and not
specify.
Alice? They never specify.
A lot of unanswered questions in this movie.
Lots of unanswered questions. The ending, we still have the ending, we have lots of questions.
It brings a lot more questions than answers.
Yes, but maybe we missed something on our own. We have a couple theories, but we will get there.
Yeah. I watched it again this morning and I'm still a little confused.
Well, I had watched it once by myself when this particular coworker was like, "Watch it." So I went ahead and watched it myself.
Mm.
And I was like, "Oh, wow, like, this is good." Like, this was nice and eerie. And especially for, like, a older film, I don't know, to me, like, I feel like older films are way better than what we have nowadays.
Because they're fresh and new back then.
Yeah, like, they had, more originality
Yes.
than what they do now, and they do a lot of remakes now, but, uh,
This one never been remade though, has it? I don't
nope.
I don't think.
But now that we're speaking that into existence, it probably will now.
I hope not.
Or maybe they'll do something special for it.
Yeah. So Karen flips out. Catherine yells at both of them. Alice throws the veil and runs out. She goes back down to her creepy room, and this is where we meet Mr. Alfonso, this giant porpoise of a man. And he's like feeding his cats. He's referring to himself as mama, which is creepy.
I
He's like,
know.
"Oh, are you hungry? Mama's hungry." A very weird way of speaking.
Yeah, and he's, like, grimy and dirty and just, like,
His gut is just hanging out
and he's
and
got, like, a huge stain in his private
right in the
areas.
front.
I
Yeah,
know, I'm like, "Ew, like, change your pants, man."
it's awful.
Yeah, it's awful.
Um, and he hears Alice walking by and he jumps out and he's like, "Oh, would you go to the store for me? I don't feel well." And she's like, "Do it yourself, fatso." Like, you know what? Fair response. And on her part, I'll say that. The creepy man jumps out at you. It's fair response.
Yeah. She goes off to the basement, and he's like, "Bitch."
Hey, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone is very mean in this movie.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Oh my god.
That's what I mean by over the top.
Very. So we see her in the basement. She's playing with her pet cockroaches and like lighting matches and whatever weird children do. And then we get to the scene. We get to the communion. So they show the communion. We see all the children lining up. We see Karen last, and she's all happy and giddy because she's been waiting for this day. Um, which I don't know. I guess that was bigger back then. I was not excited for anything church related when I was a kid.
No, I was forced.
Yeah, same.
Um, I feel like with religion, especially like when you introduce it to your children, you have to introduce it and, keep them informed and keep them in the loop,
Yeah.
not force it down the child's throat, which I grew up Catholic. You did too, pretty much, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, we are no longer Catholic. We're Christian non-denominational now.
We go to church when we have time and the mood strikes us.
Yeah, and our church is like, um,
Could watch
uplifting music. It's not like
could watch it on YouTube.
it's not it's music that you could turn the radio on and it'd be somewhat similar, but like uplifting.
That's a reason I kinda miss that we haven't gone in a while. I haven't gone in a while, is the music,
Mhm.
but some of the songs I'll still listen
But we have some good Catholic stories, and we're not anti-Catholic
No,
either.
not in the slightest.
I feel that everybody should find their own journey
Yeah, should I tell
with their religion.
my Catholic
I
story?
love yours because but the reason why Josh said this story was the one thing I say I really miss about the Catholic Church is the pews,
Yeah.
the wooden pews. I just love them. I don't know why. I like how they creak and I don't know.
You mentioned this last night, and that's what reminded me of what happened when I was younger. Because we did CCD, which is essentially Sunday school on Wednesday, if you're not aware. Um, so it was in a school that was across the street from the church, so every once in a while, they would walk us across to do confession, as you do. So they take all the classes. This was a little over 100 people, like 100 kids. It
Jesus,
was
yours is so big.
there was a lot of different classes.
Mine was so small.
There was like 40 kids per class, like, it was a lot. So we filled the church, very big church, wooden pews, of course.
I love the wooden pews.
It was dead silent because before we go in, they're like, "You guys have to be respectful, be quiet. This is a place of worship," church. So we're like, "Oh, okay." So we go in, we're sitting there, and there's one girl in our class who you always got the weird one. There's always a weird one. I forget her name, but she dead silent, and all of a sudden you just hear the loudest duck fart just ricochet off the pew, and it's dead silent. Just hear, "Mwah." And then sometimes people could get away with it, but she just looked around and was like, "Oh, excuse me."
At least she excused herself.
The priest looked so disappointed, though.
Yeah.
I remember, and like him thinking about it now, because he ended up on that list. I didn't really care, but dude, back then he was like, he was so upset. And then you could hear people laughing in the confessional booth because people were already in there, and you would just hear, just fucking, oh, it
I-
was amazing.
That's hilarious. I don't have any stories like that. I mean, pretty much when I was dragged to like CCD and first confirmation
Mm,
and communion and all of that stuff, every time my mom dropped me off, I gave her grief.
yeah.
I was like, why do I have to do this? I don't want to do this. I don't like this. And I always asked her why? And she said, because you just have to. And that just was never a good enough reason for me. And then eventually it became, so you can get married in the church. And me being a child, I was like, well, I don't want to get married at a church. And she's like, well, where are you going to get married? And I'm like, I don't know, a beach or something.
Become married on a farm. Mm,
Yeah, so that was funny. Um, did we ever, yeah, so I did everything. You did everything.
yep.
Um,
Confirmation, all that fun shit.
confirmation, all of that stuff. Did we get married at a church? No, we didn't get married at a church. We didn't get married by a pastor. We just hired an officiant.
Yep, we were on a farm.
Well, it was it used to be a farm that converted into a hotel.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful, and it was just very rustic and up our alley.
Exactly what we wanted.
Yeah. So, yeah, but so then after that, I was thinking about it, and I felt like telling my mom, I was like, "See, I didn't have to do any of that stuff."
Ugh.
But I think it was more my mom. She didn't get to complete hers, so she didn't want to do that to me,
Hmm.
and I felt like it was forced on her to do that for me,
Hmm.
just to have that option. But if you're gonna have your kids doing all of that stuff, explain to them what it's for.
Yeah, give them the background and tell them why
Yeah.
it's important to you and why you think they would like it. If don't force it on them because I could tell the other story too about the altar boy thing, but uh, I've told this story on my other podcast. So like when I was a kid, my mom really wanted me to be an altar boy. Like every week would beg me to do it, and I always said no, and I never did it. So cut to years later when that big list came out of the priests that were caught doing stuff. Right at the top of the list was our priest from our church, and my mom saw it, and it like shook everything for her. So she hasn't been back to church since. But then I was like, "See, mom, aren't you glad I wasn't an altar boy now?" And she got mad at me, and she's like, "Well, my whole faith is shaken, and now I don't know what to believe." I'm like, "That's well and good, but I could have been, touched, and you're getting mad at me." She's like, "Oh, shut up."
Didn't she say you wouldn't have been touched?
Yeah, she's like, "You wouldn't have been touched." I'm like, "First off, thanks a lot." My, you know, self-esteem wasn't low enough already, but yeah. So we have very, you know, I wouldn't say mixed feelings about the church, but we have a lot of history there.
Yeah, you have a lot of history at that church. I obviously went to a different church. Josh and I did not know each other when
Mm-mm.
we were children. Um,
Not until high school,
yeah, barely.
barely. It's you're welcome. I was a shit in high school, so it's fine.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I don't know. I don't know why I said yeah because it's not like I really knew you were. Josh was a senior and I was a freshman. So
It sounds creepy when you put it that way.
why is that creepy? A whole bunch of freshmen and seniors dated, basically the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back at this particular communion, we see all the children line up, Karen being last, and when nobody's looking, she's grabbed and choked out with a candle and dragged away. And then her body is stuffed in like I don't know if it was one of the pews, like it had a storage box in it, or
It was like a storage box
it was weird. Yeah.
that they have at the church. It's where they put the candles,
Oh, okay.
at the end of service, they put all the candles in there.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, she gets stuffed in there, and then they throw the candle, a burning candle in there. And then Josh looks at me and he's like, "She dead?" And then I'm like, "Yep." And he was like, "Oh, I remember before we started the film, you were like, 'Oh, Brooke Shields is in the film.'" And I'm like, "Yeah.
Yeah, she's in the film. Kind of.
Yeah."
Well, no. So this is one of the most interesting kills I've seen in a while because I wasn't expecting it,
Yeah.
and plus the way they did it was pretty cool.
I liked it. Like, I feel like this one had some well, I like that one. I like that kill in particular.
Mhm.
It's pretty sad, like, obviously it's a child, but
It's fine.
no, it's not fine, but,
Well,
for this movie.
yeah. So after that, we see the smoke coming out of the box, and then it cuts to Alice walking into the church, and then weirdly tries to take communion with the other kids.
Yeah, and she's at the end about to receive the communion, and then you see the smoke coming up, and one of the nuns
This
actually goes to check and starts screaming.
poor broad.
And then right before the pastor's about to give Alice communion, he just basically doesn't give her.
And he takes it back and runs away.
Yeah. And she looks so disappointed,
She's like, "What the fuck, man?"
which I thought was pretty funny. It was like, and that kept happening to her actually.
A lot.
Yeah.
So Catherine asks Alice where, because she sees her holding Karen's veil, and she's like, "Where did you get this?" She's like, "Oh, I found it on the floor." And she's like, "What the fuck?" And then uh, her Aunt Annie, who I hate the most in this movie.
I agree.
People murder people in this movie, and I still hate this woman the most.
I agree 100%. She was the nastiest one out of all the women in this movie.
She reminds me of my stepmother.
Uh, yeah,
You could say it
kinda.
100%.
Now that you say it.
So she goes, and I don't know how she was able to see that it was Karen because the body was torched, but
She pushed through. She pushed through the
she
crowd.
pushed through like 50 people. And
Like, she's like, "Let me find out this gossip over here."
and this is like the first bit of overacting that you see. And she comes running out to Catherine. She's like, "Karen is dead." And she yells it like 20 times.
Yeah, she's dead. She's dead, and, like, grabs onto her shoulders, and Catherine is trying to pull her
She
off.
screams it
Like,
in her
"Don't
face.
touch me. She's dead. Karen's dead."
And it's not till Catherine's like confused, and then she looks up and sees the pastor, the look on his face, and then she knew, like, "Oh, fuck, my daughter's dead." So she starts crying. Alice keeps the veil and stuffs it in her jacket pocket.
Alice is not crying.
Alice isn't crying.
Alice is not crying.
She's stone faced.
She's stone-faced. I think she's more, like, disappointed
Yeah.
that she didn't get communion receive communion, and she's stuffing the veil in her pocket.
Which also, mind you, we should mention that the killer that we see is dressed the way Alice is dressed, with her yellow jacket, with the hood up, and one of her creepy masks on. So we're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So we're back at the house after the funeral. The cops are now watching. They're just there because there was a murder, so they're going to hang around. And we see the ex-husband, her father, Dominic, return.
Mhm.
And they're like, who's that? It's like, oh, it's the father. So they're at the funeral. And after that, they're back at the house, and Annie says she's going to stay at the house with them. As long as she needs me, I'm going to be here, which no one is on board with. They're like, please leave.
Please leave. And even the husband is like, "Are you sure you don't wanna come home?"
Jim. Yeah.
And she's like, "No, Angela can take care of everything."
Ugh.
Angela is the same age as Alice. I'm pretty sure she's 12 also.
Yeah. And oh my God. So she's sitting at the table with her daughter, Angela, and her husband, Jim. And she's like, Angela, stop eating. You've had enough. And Jim, you stop drinking. Like, she's such an annoying person that you want her to just fall down the stairs. She's awful. And then
Oh god, it is like your stepmom.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
Like, bad. I had Vietnam flashbacks watching this movie. So then Dominic is like, well, I made some, plans. I'm going to stay in town for a while to help out. And immediately Annie's like, no, we don't need you. Go home. Like, we don't need you around. And Catherine's like, he could stay, Annie. You go home. You have a child to be with. Like, she's like, no, I'm going
She's
to
2
stay.
kids, actually. Robert is also her.
Oh, I forgot about Robert.
Yeah, he's in there.
2 seconds.
He's irrelevant.
No. So as this goes on, Catherine's like, oh, Alice, bring Mr. Angelo some cake. And she's like, okay. And Annie's like, oh, you go too. And you help, like, to her kids.
Yeah.
So she goes down to Mr. Angelo to give him cake, and he is so creepy. And just the shit he says, he's like, oh, it's so sad when a little life is snuffed out. Too bad the wrong one was in the box. Like,
Yeah,
really creepy shit.
Yeah, such a shame, such a pretty girl. Uh, Too bad she was the one.
Ugh,
She's the one in the box. Pretty much implying, like, should have been Alice.
yeah.
And Alice, the little
Yeah, she's fucking with him, licking frosting off of her finger.
uh-huh. And then she, like, throws the cake at him, and she's like, "Here, fatso."
Eat your cake, fatso.
Yeah.
Tell your mother I said thank you. Like, really creepy.
Mhm.
So then they go down to the creepy basement and yell at her brother, like, "Don't follow us." And he
Yeah.
just all while Mr. Angelo is watching through a peephole in his wall, like
Alfonso.
Alfonso?
Mhm.
Oh, I put that wrong. Yeah, Alfonso, that's the one. Um, yeah, he's a fucking creep. So Annie tells Dominic that Catherine doesn't want to hear it at this point because Dominic's asking questions and she's like, I need to, there's more cake I got to put away. So Annie's sitting with Dominic and her husband, and she's basically telling him, like, Alice was the last one in the church. And where did she get the veil from?
Mhm.
And Dominic is like, I don't want to hear this.
Yeah, pretty much, Annie, her aunt, is like, Alice was the last one with her. The cops wanna question Alice.
Mhm.
The mom and the dad, they don't wanna hear anything of it. They're like, "No, she just lost her sister, she's going through a lot."
Mind you, you wouldn't know it by looking at her. She's still stone faced. Like, she does not look like she just went through a tragedy at all.
I know, if anybody pisses me off the most out of this film, besides the aunt, it's Catherine, the mom,
She's annoying.
because what do you mean you lost your daughter and you're still getting dolled up and makeup and everything and stuff, and she's just very functional, like, I don't know. To me, I was like, I just don't believe you too much, man."
I feel like so that's a very Catholic thing to do. It's a very Italian thing to do.
To me, she feels very like a narcissist.
Ye kind of, but also back then, like, like I said, Italians did this a lot, especially in church. They kept up appearances no matter what, especially at funerals. They want people to know they're okay, so they get dolled up like crazy and look their best no matter what. I saw that a lot in my family. Um, but it is a very, like, old school Italian thing to do. Um, but yeah, she was very annoying. She got worse as the movie went on.
She did get worse as the movie went on.
Yeah. So Dominic goes to speak with the police, and we meet the detectives, um, who again very laid back for trying to solve a small child's murder.
I brought up a weird thing, but, I talked about it with my coworkers, and they were like, "Yeah, like, that is normal during that time." They had Playboy
Hmm.
posters up all over their walls, and the women were, like, completely naked, and I was like, "They allowed that in a workplace?"
Very different times.
And they were like, "Yeah, different times." Like, I understood, like, they can smoke in their jobs. Thank God we can't smoke in our jobs anymore, because I'd be dying with my lungs. My lungs are not great.
Hmm.
If people were smoking in their cubicles in office, oh my God, the office would reek.
Or on airplanes.
Ugh,
The good old days.
I'd be dead. I'd be dead. I'd be like, "Open this window a little bit because I need some air."
Ugh. But yeah, you pointed that out and you're like, is that fucking porn on the wall? I'm like, yeah, sure is. Because, different times, the 70s.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, but if I saw that, I'd be like, "I don't think this is the best person to look for my child because 'cause they're too laid back."
They didn't seem to care.
You're right, there's a whole ass murder, and you're just, "Whatever, we'll find."
We'll solve it tomorrow.
Yeah, kinda thing.
But they basically insinuate to Dominic that they think Alice is involved, which pisses him off. And he, again, very calmly, he's like, yeah, I don't like where this is going. I'm going to leave. And he just leaves.
Yeah. Either Alice is involved or Alice might know something, so let us question her.
Yeah.
But being the dad, he doesn't want to hear it.
So he just bails, and then he calls Father Tom, and Mrs. Tredoni answers, and she's like, "Oh, he's not here. Leave a message, or he's taking a nap, or something like that." He's like, "Please, it's an emergency. Like, I really need to speak to him." She's like, "No, no, he's busy."
No, it's dinner time.
Yeah. So then he picks up the phone in the other room. He's like, "It's okay, Miss Tredoni, I got it." And she's like, "Ugh." So she listens into the phone call and basically to get angry.
Yeah, she's like cat and human. She's like a cat in human form. Like, they like their structure
Mhm.
and they don't like when routine is messed with.
It's true.
Yes.
So he basically is like, "All right, I'll meet up with you. Just give me some time." And then we cut to immediately Alice dropping, I guess it was like a bottle of milk, it looked like,
Yeah.
in the kitchen, and
It
Annie
shatters all over the floor.
Annie flipping out on her and is about to hit her. And she's like, "Oh, I wasn't gonna hit you," even though her hand is like cocked
She
back and
was
ready to
gonna
go.
hit her.
She was about to
And I'd
smack the
have a
shit out of
problem
her.
if somebody other than us hit our kid. I'd have a problem.
I would slap the shit out of somebody.
Yeah.
So they're flipping out, and then she's basically like, "Oh, Alice needs to go back to school already," and then Alice is like, "I'm never going back," like, you know, back and forth, and Catherine tells her to bring the rent check down to what's his name? Because I have it wrong.
Alfonso,
Mr.
Mr.
Alfonso.
Alfonso.
Okay.
Which this is where I don't like her even more because that is your 12-year-old daughter. Why are you sending down your 12-year-old daughter to any
The
man,
creepy fat man's apartment.
the creepy fat man's apartment to deliver a check? I mean, personally, don't, no. Just even if it was anybody, any adult that's outside of the family or just questionable, like I wouldn't be sending my 12-year-old daughter. That's around the age you start developing and changing too.
Yeah, no, I definitely would not.
Nope.
She sends her down with the rent check, and she just walks. He hears her right away. He's like, "Oh, come in, Alice. I know it's you." And
She was gonna slide it under the door.
yeah, but he's creepy and knows when she's there. So she comes in, and she's of course calling him fat and all of this, and he makes a pass at her and grabs her and is like, I guess attacking her.
Well, she ends up crumbling the check in her
That's what it
hand,
was. Yeah.
and he was like, "You awful girl," and that's when he gets up,
Mhm.
and then he starts groping her.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and then she starts hitting him to get out of his grasp, and this is when she picks up one of his cats by the neck and then throws it down. Doesn't kill the cat, because if she killed the cat, I would have turned the movie off and that's it.
Yeah.
Because no. But I don't blame her. She did what she had to. Little girl did what she
I
had to get
guess.
away.
Yeah.
Okay? You can't get a big man off of you. So how could I do it? Grabbed one of the cats and threw it.
I guess.
So I understand.
That's fair.
I feel bad for the kitty, but
Knowing that the cat lived, I'm okay with it.
yes, she got out. She goes straight to the basement.
And you just hear him screaming, "Oh, she killed my baby," because he's just flipping out.
He's flipping out. She hurt my baby.
Ugh.
Whatever.
So Dominic and Father Tom talk, um, basically just going over everything we already know. Uh, Alice goes to her creepy basement room where she keeps Karen's doll and a jar of pet cockroaches, and she puts on the mask and she's like looking at an old picture. Who was that in the picture, by the way? I'm trying to remember that. It looked like her dad, but I could be wrong.
I don't I think it was her dad, but, like, I don't think correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, I don't think Dom's her dad, because I know at some point, I think it was Mrs. Tredoni said something along the lines of she was pregnant before they that she even got married before they even got married. So either they had a child out of wedlock
I think that's what it was.
or she I don't know, like, the way they made it sounded more like she cheated on him,
Perhaps.
perhaps,
See,
but
more questions than we have answers.
yes, but I don't know. That is for up in the air for interpretation
Fair.
because it could just be that they had a child out of wedlock and which is Alice.
Yeah. So she's down there with the mask on looking at the picture. And just then, Annie comes down the stairs and we see Yellow Jacket, hood up, mask on, starts stabbing her in the foot, the legs, just stabbing the shit out of her. Granted, getting stabbed probably hurts. However, I don't think I would overact that much to being stabbed.
I kinda like that kill though, because it kinda came out of, like, nowhere,
She
like
didn't kill her, though, that's the thing. She just stabbed her.
okay, yeah, so it was a failed kill, but she fucked her up,
She did fuck
so
her.
that was nice.
Because she's like, it's very dramatic the way they do it, too. Because she's getting stabbed on the staircase, and then she crawls out into the rain and is just screaming bloody murder while blood is going everywhere. Like, it's great.
Yeah, and Catherine runs out, sees her, is yelling, somebody help," like, screaming.
Mr.
Conveniently, Tom and Dom pull up.
Yeah. All right, we'll get you to the hospital. Jump in. Like, it's very laid back.
Yeah,
Um,
"Okay, get her to the hospital," and then she tells, Dom, which is the dad, like, "Find Alice." Uh, Mr. Fatso over here, I'm pretty sure he was the one who kinda was, like, looking out the window, like, seeing
yeah,
what was going on.
big fat fuck.
Yeah. So Dom goes to get Alice, and then from there, we go to the hospital, don't we?
Yeah, because he finds Alice and she's cowering in the corner,
Sh
holding up the doll, saying, "Take it, Karen. I'm sorry. Just take your doll back."
she's hysterical and crying, saying that she saw Karen,
Hmm.
and, yeah, she's just hysterical, and, and Dom's like
He grabs his comforter.
yeah, and, he comforts her and stuff. It's like, "Don't worry," like, you know. Then we go to the hospital, and we see Annie fucked up in the bed.
She's not speaking. She's like frozen with fear.
Uh-huh.
Uh, she then talks to Catherine and is basically telling her, like, I know it was Alice.
Well, the police and the priest wanna talk to her, and she was like, "Well, I need to talk to her first." She runs over, and she's like, "You better not say what you're gonna say," um, and, like, threatening her,
Mm.
pretty much.
And she doesn't just say it, she screams it.
Yeah, her husband walks through the door, and she's, like, hysterically crying, and she's like, "It was Alice, it was Alice."
Which, again, right away, the overacting is incredible.
Yeah,
I love it.
and Catherine's like, "You liar, liar!"
Mm.
Like, they're yelling at each other.
But then the police take Alice, and we see her in. She's hooked up to like a lie detector, so they're asking her like vague questions at first, and then they get into like, "Oh, did you see who? Do you know who stabbed your aunt?" And
Well,
she,
do you know who killed, Karen? And she said, "No," like, her questions were kinda, like, back and the answers were kinda coming back and forth, like, they were yeah, pretty much, like, "Did you" take it from here because
no,
I
it's
kinda
fine.
lost my train of thought.
That's fine because the two cops are talking after the test is over, and he was like, "So did she pass or fail?" And he's like, "I mean, technically she failed." He's like, "Well, what do you mean technically?" And he's like, "Well, when I asked her, like, did you see who stabbed your aunt? The first time she said no. And then when I asked her again, she said it was Karen, only this time it came back she wasn't lying. So she really believes it was Karen."
Uh-huh.
So
So basically it was inconclusive,
Inconclusive.
the results. But those lie detector tests are like only 60% accurate
Yeah,
anyways.
they're not very spot.
So, yeah.
And the one cop thought she was, like, flirting with him, and then it was very creepy. And then Alice, this part made me laugh. She just kinda she slowly pushes the whole machine onto the floor.
And they're like looking at her instead of running in there, they're like looking at her and they're like, "Don't you dare.
Like, "You little
Don't
bitch."
you dare." She pulled a cat. She just knocked it off of the
It was actually really funny.
and then she just looks at them like, yeah.
Again, stone face just knocks it on the floor. So, Dominic and Catherine visit Alice in, I guess it's like a psych ward, um, and basically telling her, like, "You have to stay here for a while we figure this out." And then we cut to and it so out of nowhere, uh,
Wait,
Dom
before that, when Alice was there, the parents are talking to the lady that is helping them, the psychiatrist,
Mhm,
and the psychiatrist tells her like, "Oh, did you know that she was menstruating and stuff?"
mhm,
So she didn't tell her mom that she was menstruating, and her mom like took it personally
yeah.
and was like, "Why didn't you tell me anything?" and
"You
stuff.
don't talk to me anymore," like,
Yeah, and so she was like, "Oh, are we going home?" And they were like, "Oh, you're gonna stay here for a bit. Do you want me to help you unpack your room?" And she is convinced that she saw Karen. She's like, "I saw Karen. It was Karen. I'm telling you, it was Karen."
mhm,
Um, Again, they were like, "Oh, you got some good doctors, like, and stuff,
yeah,
and they're gonna take good care of you." She opens her bag, and Karen's doll is in there. And right away, she like gets up and she's freaked out.
mhm,
You can tell Alice is freaked out. And she was like, "Why would you bring this to me?" And throws it back at her mom and says, "I don't want it." Even though the mom's like, "Oh, I thought like it would bring you comfort."
yeah, it's again, Catherine just not really knowing her own daughter.
Not knowing her kids, man. Yeah. Oh, terrible.
Yeah. But then the next scene is very out of place in my mind because it's Dominic and Catherine, and then they just start making out. They're just alone, they're kissing, they're making out, and then the phone rings. And it's his new wife?
No, at first it's just breathing. It's heavy breathing.
Oh, yeah.
And they originally think the wife thinks it's Annie,
Mhm.
her sister, and she's like, "I don't want to talk to her.
No, it's
I have nothing to say to her." And then she picks up the phone. There's just heavy breathing. She hangs up. Another phone call. Heavy breathing again. They hang up. And then they start making out. They talk a little bit about like, everything that's happening, but then they start making out and you're just like, "Okay, I don't like you guys because your child is dead and your
he's
other child is in the cuckoo house now."
he's remarried.
He's remarried.
Yeah.
And yeah, they start making out. Makes no yeah.
Then
This
his
is why I say she's a narcissist,
yeah, that's fair.
okay?
That's when his new wife does call, though. She calls
She
and she's
calls
like, "When are
r
you coming home? I
yeah.
miss you."
So that's the only thing that breaks them up from kissing.
Yeah.
And the wife's like, "I miss you. Do you love me? I love you." And
Yeah.
typical man, it's like, "Yeah, I love you."
Um, so, Catherine puts an end to it. She's like, "Yeah, I wanted it too, but, we gotta go back to reality." So he goes back to his hotel, and as he's walking in, the guy stops, like, "Oh, you have a phone call. I was just gonna page your room." And he picks it up, and it's
Angela.
Angela, his
So
niece.
we missed a little detail. Angela at this point has gone missing because they want to start questioning all the kids from communion
Mhm.
because the person that stabbed Annie was wearing the little raincoat,
It's a raincoat that has, like, the church name on it.
has the church names on it, so they're pretty much like it must be a child.
Yeah.
So Angela was on the list, and Dom is convinced it's Angela. It's like, what about Angela? Why doesn't she get questioned? She disappears, apparently.
Yeah. Well, she runs away.
She runs away. He gets a phone call from Angela, and she's hysterical, calling him. Um, and he's like, I'm not mad at you. Don't worry. Like, speak to Uncle Dom. Like, what's the matter? She tells him to meet her at the waterfall.
She has the cross that Karen was wearing.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, I'll be there in 15 minutes. So he goes and we see him standing by the waterfall and he looks up and he sees somebody dressed, in the yellow coat with the mask and he runs after them.
Yeah, and he's like, Angela, Angela. That person starts running. Um, what do most people do in a horror movie? They start running after the person.
Yeah.
For what reason? I have no idea.
And much like Patterson, New Jersey, we're back in a textile plant.
Yes.
So he goes up the stairs and immediately gets attacked, just right away. And, you know, that happens. And then he's tied up, laying on the floor. And this kill was brutal, in my opinion, because of how slow it was.
Yeah.
Because he's screaming for help as the killer slowly tumbles him across the floor to the edge of the balcony and just pushes him over the side.
And they're dragging him and everything
Hmm.
over. They tied him up. And to me, in my opinion, I think a man could have overtaken that person, or at least put enough dead weight that that person wouldn't have been able to drag them.
It's hard. It's very hard. But, well, now that they say right then and there who it is.
Yeah.
The camera pans up back to the balcony, and there we see the killer take the mask off, and it's Mrs. Tredoni, the old
Housekeeper that we see in the beginning, um, helping out like the pastor and all the other.
the Monsignor.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's the killer, which you could overpower that. She's a frail, tiny.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, there's no way. Well, at first, when they're driving the body, I'm like, there's no way a young girl is able to do that. But then I'm like, there's no way an elderly woman is able to do that either. But oh well,
She found a way,
I don't know. The
so
Lord was on her side.
I guess.
Yeah.
So she goes and she hides in the confessional, and that's when all the kids come in.
Oh, you didn't say how he died.
He fell over the side.
I know, but it was like, it's pretty cool because, he falls on all the bottles. And then you were like, there's the Patterson I know.
Yeah, that's what I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I was referring to earlier. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
Patterson we know and love is all the broken liquor bottles.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was so funny when Josh said that. Because we were watching it and he's like, that's not Patterson. This is too nice for Patterson. And then when it gets to that part, he's like, there's the Patterson I know.
It's just funny because so I won't say the company I work for, but the one I do, there's a location out in Patterson, and everyone I talk to from there is like, this is the biggest shithole. Like, they say how horrible it is. So that's my frame of reference. But yeah, so Mrs. Tredoni's hiding in the confessional. Father Tom comes in and he's like, oh, this is just for the kids today. She's like, please, I need to confess, like, elderly woman. And she doesn't confess to the murders or anything, but basically he comforts her. And we were watching this and you were like, am I wrong? She looks
She looks like she's getting off from it.
she's
Like,
kind of turned on.
right? Oh my God. She looks like she's turned on. I'm
It's
like,
very
there is
creepy.
something. Yeah, I feel like she did kind of fancy the pastor
Yeah,
in ways.
in ways. Yeah.
And then I think she kind of was more mad at Catherine because he
Gave her more attention.
gave her more attention and she just felt like she was not a godly woman.
No, she becomes very clear on that later on.
Yeah.
Um, Catherine visits Father Tom's house and sits with Miss Tredoni, waiting for him to come back because she's looking for Dominic. She hasn't heard from him.
Mhm.
Um, Miss Tredoni mentions that didn't she mention like she once had a daughter that was taken from her a long time ago?
Yeah.
And so you get a little backstory on her. And she said, "Oh, from this, I learned that the children pay for the sins of the parents," and vague shit like that.
Yeah, which Catherine was kinda like, "Okay, she's very something's
Something's
off."
fucked up with this chick.
But Pastor Tom walks in, and so she's kinda, like, saved by that.
Mm, yeah. Well, she's holding a knife in her face too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Father Tom comes back and tells Catherine basically, Dominic's dead. Like we found him.
Yeah.
She overacts and cries. And then Alice is let out because it's clear that the killer has not been caught. Because how could she have done it if she was locked up?
Yeah, basically that she's not like, it's clear that she's not the killer
Yeah.
because she was locked up, but
Um, we see Miss Tredoni put on a mask. Well, she takes a mask, a knife, and a set of gloves and puts it in a brown paper bag. And then Alice and Catherine come home. And then Alice goes into Mr. Alfonso's apartment while he's sleeping. And to kind of get him back for before she puts the jar of cockroaches on his stomach
mhm.
and then just leaves and goes to church with Catherine. And then at the same time, after they leave, we see Mrs. Tredoni sneak up their stairs from their basement dressed up, yellow coat and mask and all that. And she starts banging on his door. And he wakes.
No, no, that's not what happens. He wakes up with the cockroaches and he starts freaking out and he's like, "That freaking girl." And he walks up, he opens his door and she's right there. So he grabs her thinking that's Alice.
Well, no, she's banging on the door, and that's what wakes him up. And then he sees the cockroaches and starts freaking out. Because then when he starts screaming is when she goes to run away, and that's when he comes out and grabs her.
Okay, anyways, I don't remember.
That's fine.
Maybe I okay, because like now I'm kind of seeing it both ways. But long story short, he grabs her and she starts stabbing him
Mhm.
and kills him. And I think the cat is like there's like a cat on the side that's like licking his blood.
And the goldfish dies because
Yeah,
his bloody hand lands in the goldfish bowl and it fills up with blood. Anyway,
yeah.
the detective coincidentally shows up at the same time, hears the screaming, breaks the window, and sees her run out, and then finds the body.
Mhm.
So then we cut to the church because that's where I guess he knew she was going to go there.
Yeah.
So they surround the church, and he's basically telling Father Tom, like, "Oh, I want,
You to do communion today.
yeah." He's like, "I want you to do that. You got to try to get her away. I'm gonna have gunmen up on the balcony." He's like, "I don't want that in my church. No guns." And they're setting up for communion, and we see Catherine and Alice sitting there, and then Mrs. Tredoni walk in creepily and just sit behind them. And then Alice goes up for communion.
So does the mom. They all go up
Mm,
together.
Catherine goes back and sits in her seat, though, while Alice is up there. Because then Miss Tredoni goes up and sits
Yeah,
next
yeah,
to
yeah.
Alice.
Yeah, because she did get their communion, so she goes back to the seat.
Mm,
And from there, like I thought this was a little funny that Mrs. Tredoni's like pushing through people
yeah.
to go get communion, and then she just smacks right next to Alice and like kind of shoves her a little bit
Mhm.
so she can receive communion.
It's very crazy.
Yeah.
So they're going down the line with the communion, and it gets to Mrs. Tredoni, and Father Tom's like, "Oh, you need to come with me."
Right before that, they skip Alice again. She has her tongue out ready to receive communion, and she's like, "Skipped."
Completely skipped it.
Yeah,
She's still even though she sees what's going on, she's like, "What the fuck?"
yeah,
So, he's basically telling Mrs. Trelawney, like, "You need to come with us now." She flips out, and she's like, "You even gave communion to that whore," and she points to Catherine, and Catherine makes a face like, "Whoa, what the fuck, man?"
yeah. What the heck?
And then as Father Tom is reaching down for her, she pulls a knife out of her bag and stabs him in the neck, and he dies. She grabs him and is, like, hugging him as he dies,
Yeah, and
and
she's like smiling,
very creepily.
and the blood splatters on Alice, and she's just stone faced.
Not phased at all.
Everybody's screaming in there, freaking out.
She grabs the brown paper bag and walks past the crowd, gets shoved by a cop very aggressively,
I know.
and we see her reach into the bag and pull out the knife slightly and look at it and put it back in the bag and then just look at the camera, and then the credits roll.
Yeah. So then we have a lot of questions from
So
that.
many questions.
So many questions, no answers to. Maybe other people interpret it differently. I know how like you and I kind of interpret it
Yeah.
a certain way because we were talking about does that mean Alice goes crazy? I feel like Alice this whole time was like misjudged,
Mm.
and I feel like she was very forgotten, and I think that's why she was the way she was.
The way she acted, she was definitely a troubled kid.
Yeah.
I don't think it was just them ignoring her. I think she was genuinely like troubled and never really helped the way she needed it.
Uh-huh.
S-
They did
Yeah.
take her to psychiatrists and stuff because the cops pulled her in for the lie detector because they went to the church and took Alice's records
And they saw from the principal
that she was a troubled child.
that she was troubled, and the principal recommended taking her to psychiatrists many times, but they never did.
Uh-huh.
Um, so she definitely needed help that she never got, and she acted out because of it,
Yeah.
which it was mainly just messing with her sister. But other than that, like
I
they,
mean, yeah, most of her stuff was like innocent little things. But that could have turned into something more, but then I feel like they made her go crazy
Mhm.
because they made her believe she was crazy because nobody wanted to. She really strongly believed that she saw Karen
She did. I don't know.
and no one believed her and they made her to be crazy. So then I think from there, she did go crazy
Yeah, I was trying to figure out why did she think she saw Karen, but I'm now realizing because she saw somebody in the yellow jacket, so maybe she just thought Karen.
because Mr. Alfonso, I'm pretty sure, said something along the lines of the dead has a way of because basically he was that you're on and I see right through you because everybody majority of the adults in this movie think that Alice is the killer.
Yeah,
She's the prime suspect.
and it's only because she's a troubled youth.
She's a troubled youth. She had Karen's veil.
Mm.
Nobody really believed her. She probably was the last person to see Karen alive. But it really was that she found it on the ground.
Yeah, it was literally like she said.
Yeah, she found it on the ground, but then everybody was like, well, she was the last person. So,
Yeah,
you know, automatically we think it was her. And she's a bad kid. So it had to be her.
yeah. But again, so many questions not answered. What happened to Angela? They never
What did
they
happen to
never find her.
Angela?
They just say, "All right, she's gone."
Yeah, I know.
Not once is she mentioned again.
She's not mentioned again.
Poor girl. Ugh,
The mom was hard. Catherine was horrible.
yeah.
I still think the biggest villain out of this whole movie was her.
It's fair.
Yeah, in my opinion. Mr. Tredoni was just insane, you know?
I love how the cops towards the end, they seemed like it was a job well done, even though they solved nothing. They were just there.
They solved and did nothing.
They did absolutely nothing but
Yeah.
show up after it was all said and done.
They don't let the pastor get killed. Like, come on, really?
He got killed, like stabbed in the neck in front of everybody.
And in front of the whole church. I could see why, like, extreme Catholics would be very, very upset with this movie
Yeah,
just from that scene alone.
it's fair. Murdering people in a church is usually frowned upon.
Yeah, but murdering the pastor especially too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, I enjoyed this movie. I really did. I I was falling asleep, but in my defense, I was getting sick. So so I passed out a little.
Yeah.
Um, which again, I'm sorry this episode's getting out late. I was literally dead to the world yesterday. Um,
Only by a day. It's all right.
yeah. I took a Zyrtec, which I had no idea was going to knock me on my ass, but it did.
You should have taken a half.
See, I didn't know that.
See, with me, I take an allergy pill every day because I have really bad allergies. And my allergist said it was fine.
Mm.
So I kind of have an immunity to like falling asleep on any of those things. I think Josh sees me taking them like nothing. And he's like, yeah, okay, this isn't going to knock my ass out. I should have told him, though, that Zyrtec in the middle has a divot
hmm
in the center so you could break it in half.
So I didn't know any of this, and I went to work
Yeah,
after taking it.
because it kicks your ass.
I fell asleep at the desk, and then
Yeah.
today I went in late because I was still like tired.
Yeah, because he also took NyQuil
Yeah,
because he's like, I'm getting sick. I have to take NyQuil.
yeah. So I doubled up, and then I went in today and talked to my boss, and I was like, I fucking figured it out. I took a Zyrtec, and he's like, "Oh, so you were like high as shit yesterday?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You gotta take half." I'm like, "See, I'm the only one who didn't know that."
Yeah, even they told you.
Yeah,
It's my fault because I take the whole.
yeah. I see you popping them.
Yeah, I pop them like only like once a day, but
Yeah.
the reason why I have to go like stronger and I have to I have to change out what allergy pill I take too because eventually I get an immunity to it
hmm
too.
But yeah, so that knocked me on my ass. We got home and I just fell asleep at like 8 o'clock
Yeah,
and
he's like, I'm going to bed.
slept until like 10 o'clock.
I can't keep my eyes open.
Oh,
And I was concerned. I was like, yeah, you freaked me out. I don't know, man, because I can hear Josh's snore from
all right.
a mile away, and
Thank you.
and it was very faint this time. And usually when he's sick, it's worse. It's like, you know,
You thought I stopped breathing.
yes, yes. So I kept checking in and then putting my ear to the door because I didn't want to open the door because I didn't want the cats to get in
Mm.
and be like, "We're hungry, Daddy. Time to eat."
Meanwhile, I'm in the other room having the sleep of a lifetime. Just so like out cold.
Yeah,
I didn't wake up once.
and I'm just binging shows on Netflix.
That I heard. I heard the
Yes.
dun dun.
Yeah, and you were like, "Oh shit, about to go down."
Yep. And I was like, but yeah. So a day late. That's Alice, sweet Alice.
Alice, Sweet Alice. This is one of my coworkers' first horror movies that she watched as a little girl, and it still holds up today. Like
It
it's really
holds up.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for that recommendation because it was really good.
Yeah. So after a few weeks, we have the wheel back. We have some new categories on the wheel. Let me move it over here.
Yeah. So I can read some. Okay, so we got rid of cannibalism, gore, monster, and guess the killer, and we swapped them out for killer female, holiday. So,
Holiday.
holiday themed
We have
horror.
cosmic horror, which, H.P. Lovecraft and all that fun stuff. And and we did classic. So
Which he said black and white. And I was just like, I hope I don't get that because I don't really know. Besides Dracula, like that's the only thing I can think of right now at the top of my head.
so I put that mainly for myself because I have always and still continue to watch a lot of black and white movies.
Yeah.
So
I might, because I know you really don't want teen horror. I might steal that one if you fall on it. And then
I'll
if
steal
I
from you.
land on classic, you'll steal from me.
Okay, fair.
Okay.
All right, so let me spin and see what we get.
Good spin. Good spin. We're going to let Josh spin it today.
Yeah, it's a good spin.
Slasher.
Ooh, okay.
Alrighty.
So we landed on slasher. I know a million of them, so
Yeah.
I just gotta pick a good one.
We all know a million of them. Sometimes it's hard to get one that, like, so many
Hmm.
because then you're like, oh, shoot, how do I narrow it down?
That's gonna be the tricky part.
And I only have a week to narrow it down.
That is gonna be the tricky part.
Yeah. Because I know Josh loves slashers. So,
Yeah. You know the ones that are in the back of my mind already, so
yeah, but still, there's so many. And to narrow it down to, like, which slasher, which direction do I want to go in?
yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
But no, I'll figure it out. I watch a lot of slasher movies.
Such a shame we didn't get a new.
I know, I was hoping for one of the new ones,
Yeah.
but
I think what I'll do is, we'll obviously next week we're going to be back here. Josh is going to pick a slasher film. We're going to go ahead and review it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase slasher from the wheel
mm,
and I'll basically point the direction. So if the little line falls a little bit closer to the left
mm. Yep,
of
yep.
where slasher was, we'll do supernatural, or if it falls more towards the right, it'll go to killer female.
Okay.
That way we can take on all of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okie dokies.
But thank you guys so much for listening. We will be back next week with a slasher movie. And yeah,
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good one.
see you next week.
Bye, guys.